The One Piece live action, is it good or bad? Today we're going to be going over that. I'm actually a huge One Piece fan. It's literally in my top 3 anime, as you can tell. But the live action just dropped today. I just watched the first episode. I'm going to be giving my honest reaction to it. I'm not going to lie to you because I'm actually a big fan of One Piece. And right now where I'm sitting, my honest opinion is like right in the middle. So there's some nitpicky things I didn't like, and then there was like stuff I did like about it. So I'm going to be covering multiple topics of it. First, we're going to go over the casting and like appearance of the characters. And honestly, I would say they did a good job of this. You know, it doesn't look like too cosplay-y, if that makes sense. You know, there's like previous live actions like Death Note, Dragon Ball, you know, some other stuff where a lot of people don't like them, including myself. But in this, I think they did a good job in casting in terms of like the energy given, the appearance of them, like Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Kobe, everybody kind of in the beginning of the East Blue that was covered in the first episode. I think it was a pretty good job, even like Alvida. Now, one thing is like Alvida in the anime is really huge, but in the live action, it's just like a regular plus size actor, nothing crazy. And honestly, in terms of making a live action for that, like I think it's fine. Randomly cutting myself off, but one thing I wanted to mention is with Luffy's character, there is a little bit of like corniness to him in the show, which I feel like is kind of accurate, but it's a little weird when it comes off in the live action. I just thought I should mention that. It's just like, there's a little bit of like corny parts where I'm like, I kind of felt a little indifferent about it. So overall, I think it was a good job on like, casting and appearance. Next is like the set design and the environment. And I think they did a really good job on it. It kind of captures like the pirate vibe, like if it was real. Because honestly, sometimes in like One Piece, I don't really get an actual pirate vibe a lot in the anime. But like in this live action, it does feel a little more like piratey. Like I don't want to say like Pirates of the Caribbean, but like it adds like a little more of a realistic aspect to it. So I think that was pretty good, like in terms of the environment setting. Also, the towns and villages, they didn't really cover like too many in the first episode, but I think it just captures like a piratey kind of on the coast type of island, So I think they did a good job in terms of that too. Cutting myself off again, but I thought it's important to add this. So one thing I liked about just the environment, there are some like Easter eggs in terms of, some characters that pop up and characters you might see. I also liked seeing that. And there was even an Easter egg with music playing in the background. So if you were like a One Piece fan before, you would recognize it, depending on how far you got. So next is like the abilities and almost like CGI. So Luffy is stretchy. So this was going to be interesting to cover in a live action. I feel like it's hard to make like a stretchy person look good. But I would say in terms of the live action, it was actually pretty good. They didn't really show much in the trailers. They only showed like little like sneak peeks of his like stretchiness, but they actually do show it more in the live action. So it's not like they're really holding back on that. So I actually did like that they're actually putting some effort in, showing them stretch. Also, there were some fighting scenes, so we did get to see Zoro fight. I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 fights, and the choreography for that was actually good as well. And even Nami got some scenes where she was actually fighting too. Cutting myself off once again, but also with some of the fighting scenes, it was actually like more violent than I expected. And honestly, that caught me by surprise, like in a good way. So overall, the like ability, fighting, choreography, things like that, I think they did a pretty good job on that as well. So the next category, which I think is a main topic for everybody, is like how true to the story is it? Now I would say like this is the only thing that made me feel a little iffy with this first episode. So overall, it does capture the whole One Piece theme and story, but they did make some deviations where I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. And I feel like they might have done that just because of like, the sheer pacing of the episodes. So the episodes are about 1 hour each and we get 8 episodes of these, but they made some deviations like how Zoro was acquired on the crew, how Zoro kind of ended up being tied up to the post, and some involvement with Kobe. And also, like, I feel like Nami was included too soon, at least with, like, the interactions with Luffy and Zoro. So, like, those are some things that left me feeling a little iffy. I'm like, I just wonder how far they're going to deviate for the rest of the story. Like, I think overall they're going to capture the main essence of One Piece, but they are making some deviations. But on the plus side of that, too, with some of the deviations they're making, they also cover some aspects of One Piece that the anime didn't cover. Like Luffy getting into the barrel before arriving to Alvida's ship. Also seeing Zoro before he's tied up to the post, like what kind of actions he did before. And then you get to see how Luffy got his scar early on. I think in the anime it was like revealed later, but they actually showed it pretty early on in here. So just to reiterate, I have just seen the first episode. I still have to watch the rest of the series. I have 7 episodes left, so that's 7 hours of content to consume still. So it still has some chances to redeem itself in terms of like me being a little upset with some of the deviations they made. I'm really curious to see how like the story goes in terms of this live action. So overall about the live action after the first episode, I'm feeling, like I said, in the middle, just kind of like an but I'm still interested to see what comes next. So make sure you leave in the comments about how you felt about the first episode of this One Piece live action on Netflix. And once I complete the series, I'll make an entire review. It'll be linked right here where I'll have my honest review of the whole series, and just, I won't hold back on it because I'm a One Piece fan. I don't want them to mess it up. But make sure you check that out.